Hey, hello everyone, welcome back to our next video lesson. So what I want to do is I want to talk about strings within the Visual Basic language. A string is anything within quotation marks. So if I had quotation mark the number 1, close quotation mark, that's a string, right? It's not a number. So strings can be anything, a symbol, a letter, the space bar, a number, anything within quotation marks. So let's work with some of these strings. So first I'm going to open up the toolbox and common controls, and I'm going to drag a button, a label, and also a text box. I'll drag and drop this label to the upper left-hand corner, and I'll say type some text, something like that. Put text box over here and maybe make this text box a little bit wider to give the user the opportunity to enter perhaps a small sentence. I'll put a button over here that spans across the entire label and text box, and we'll call that the submit button. And then finally I'll put a label down here. I'll just copy and paste this guy. Auto size false. This gives me an opportunity to move this over here. And we have a border style. Fixed single is fine. I want to make sure that this text is aligned in the center. So do something like that. Actually, maybe I should do something else here. Maybe I should say like, let's grab a certain part of the text, or let's make it uppercase, let's make it lowercase. So why don't I do this? Let's say, let me just get this label over here, copy and paste it, and we'll say lowercase. Put that over here. I'm going to take this guy and let's move it right there, something like that. Actually, you know what? I probably want this to be the same as this, so I think it's source, shift, destination, and then I want to say make same size. Or I could have just simply moved this over here and do it old school way, make this the same height as this, like that, and then make it the same width using these guidelines, right? And then move this into position, something like that. This will be the lowercase representation of the text that's going to be typed by the user. So I better get rid of this text here. And select these two, copy and paste, like that. And let's change that to uppercase. Okay, so just something really simple like that. And let's see here. About maybe like grab the first word or something like that. Copy and paste. Let's say first word. Something like that. Reduce the size of this. I don't want the minimize or the maximize box. And we'll say string experiment. Strings experiment. Because we're working with strings. Make sure you save all. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the text that's entered by the user, we're going to convert it into uppercase, we're going to convert it into lowercase, and then what we're going to do is we're going to grab a part of the string so that we can display it on this final label down here, just the first word, say for example. So let me give names to the various items. This top part will say this is txt user string. Right? They can enter a number, they can enter characters, letters, I don't know. So instead of txt user num, I'll put txt user string. Obviously, this guy is going to be btn submit. And then over here we have LBL lowercase. Here we have LBL uppercase. And then this label will say LBL first word. Something like that. Okay. Make sure you save your work, and the goal is to show you all of the different functions that are available in string manipulation. So whenever we're dealing with strings, we can use the dot operator after that particular string name, and then a bunch of properties will open up. Okay, so let me double click on the button, and that takes me into the design tab area. I'm going to move this over here so that you can see what the form looks like. And over here I'm going to have the code. Let me reduce the zoom a little bit to about 150%. And then of course over here we always have our declarations. Get user input, calculation, and output. In the declarations section, I'm going to have a string, so we'll say, dim user string as a string. And I'll set it equal to nothing first. And then over here where it says get user input, I'm going to say user string. It's going to be whatever the user typed into the text box, user string, so .text. No conversion is necessary. Typically we've done convert to double or to int32, but no conversion is necessary because I'm simply putting the text into a string, and those are synonymous. Text, string, same thing. We're really not going to be doing any type of calculation, but in this section what we're going to do is we're going to display onto the label the uppercase, the lowercase, and the first word. So maybe I should go ahead and go back over here, create some new variables, such as lowercase as string. Again, I'll set that to nothing. Uppercase as string. And then first word. Set that to nothing, because those are the items that I have over here. Lowercase, uppercase, first word. Okay, so in essence what I'm trying to do is take whatever the user typed over here, and let's start with lowercase so that I can change that. So here's how you would do that. You take the user string dot. So notice that the dot operator gives you a list of all kinds of stuff. So these are all the different functions that you have that are available for you to use. So over here I'm going to type in lower, or to lower. Here it is. Open and close parentheses, press enter. So what this function does is it's going to take whatever the user string is. Over here we've obtained that, put that into user string. and it's going to convert everything to lowercase, and it's going to place that into a text that you created over here called lowercase. And we're going to do the same thing over here with uppercase. Uppercase is going to be user string, and then to upper. So again, what we're doing is we're converting everything to the uppercase. Now, let's hold off on the first word for a moment, because I just want to show you what the output would look like. So LBL, lowercase, dot text is going to be whatever our lowercase conversion is. LBL uppercase is going to be whatever our uppercase conversion, or the conversion to uppercase that we've established over here. Let me run the program. Put this over here. Here's your code over here. And let's see what happens. So Robert, Solis, Citrus, College, say for example. So I click submit, and notice that this first text box has taken all of the text and converted that to lowercase. It's taken all of the text and converted it and placed it here all into uppercase. So that's the nice thing about to upper, to lower. You have the ability to change the capitalization or lowercase. Now let's work with first word. In this case, what I want to do is I just want to grab this part of the string, and I want to display it here. So in other words, I want to see the word Robert on this bottom label over here. Let me stop the program, make sure that it doesn't say running over here, that you have in fact stopped the program correctly. And let's go back over here. First, let me give you some notes. Let's do this. So I'll say 0, and then I'm going to copy and paste this. Actually, this should be a note or a comment. And then I'll copy and paste this over here, because that's going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, say for example. And then I'm going to change these by using my overwrite mode to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now you saw that I typed in Robert for my first line. So that means that R is placed into the 0 index, O is placed into the 1 index. In other words, every single letter you can think of has an address. And then this was a space, so I'll leave that alone. And then this was capital S, capital O, lowercase o for my last name. So when I enter a strings, those letters are given an index, and you can think of it as an address. So the first letter, that's at index 0. The second letter, that's at index 1, and so forth and so on. So they all have an appropriate location. If I wanted to grab just the first word, my first name, in this case, I would start at position 0, and I would go all the way up, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 characters. So starting at position 0, 6 characters, it would grab the word Robert. I could do the same thing for my last name, starting at position 7, say for example, and I could grab the next 5 characters, and that would be my last name. All right, so now that you understand what it's like when you type in a string, that really those letters have a location, a memory location. Now let's go ahead and grab the first word. Okay, so what is the first word? Well, first of all, it's going to come from the user string, dot substring. Now what substring does is it says grab a part of the string, but I need you to tell me 2 pieces of information. Number 1, where do you want me to start? Number 2, how many characters do you want me to grab? So if I go ahead and do this, it gives you a quick description of what this thing does. And there's a couple of different flavors over here. You'll see over here, give me the starting index, that has to be an integer. Give me the length, how many characters you want me to grab. Okay, so if I wanted to grab the word Robert, I'm going to start at position 0, comma. Now, how many of these characters are you wanting to grab? Well, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because Robert is 6 characters long. So I'll type in a 6 over here, and then press Enter. So what substring does is it grabs characters, and the 0 in this case, so I'll put a comment here, the 0 represents the starting point. The 6 represents how many characters you want to grab. The 6 represents how many characters to grab. Put it over here so you can see that one line. Here we go. Okay. Actually, I can't put it back over here. That's good. Well, now that I've grabbed that first word, let's go ahead and place it in this label, LBL, first word, dot text is going to be whatever that first word variable has been assigned. Let me run the program. It's over here so you can see the code. Again, I type in Robert, Solis, Citrus, College. Click Submit. So notice that the word Robert was grabbed because what I'm saying over here is starting from position 0, grab the next 6 characters. Well, since the word Robert is 6 characters and R is at that position 0, that's how we were able to assign Robert to the first word string and then display that onto the label. What if I wanted to grab my last name? Well, let me stop the program. So you can see over here that my last name starts at position 7. Again, assuming that I typed in Robert Solis. If I typed in some other text, but like Bill, well, like Bill McKenzie, well then the last person's name would start out, see, B is 0, I is 1, LL, 2, 3, 4 is the space. At position 5 would be the beginning of the person's last name. So it just depends. So I'm not necessarily saying that this is the best way to approach it. I'm just introducing how strings work. My last name is going to begin at position 7. Solis is 5 characters. So starting at position 7, grab the next 5 characters. Okay, so over here, I'm going to change, how about this? Instead of saying first word, how about I create a new variable over here called second word. So I create a new variable called second word, and I want to grab that. So second word is going to be something from the user string dot substring. Starting at position 7, grab the next 5 characters. So in essence, I'm going to be capturing my last name. I guess I'll just finish this here. 9, 10, 11. And then that'd be 9, 10. Whoops, sorry. And then 11. So L would be at position 9, I would be at position 10, S would be at position 11. Now we don't call that position, we call these indices or index. This is index 0, index 1, index 2. So starting at position 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will grab my last name if I type in Robert Solis. And then what I want to do is I want to display that to the output, but I don't think I have, do this again, the split screen, I don't think I have a label down here, so let me just go ahead and create a new one. I'll grab these two, copy and paste. I'll change that to last or second word. What did I call it again? Yeah, second word. So let me go back over here to Properties panel, and we'll say second word. Let me just give a name to this guy. LBL second word. Okay. Well, now that I've created that label, down here I can say LBL second word dot text is going to be this new string that I've just established from a substring of the user's string, where I start at position 7, grab the next 5 characters, and then place that into second word. That's what I'm going to assign into that new label. So let me run the program. I'll move this over here, and I'll over here so you can see the code. Robert, Solis, Citrus, College. All right. So again, uppercase, lowercase, grabbing the first word, grabbing the second word. Only because I knew I was going to type in Robert, a 6-character name, Solis, a 5-character name. Does this work? So this isn't an approach of how we would grab these various words. Maybe a better strategy would be like, okay, start from position 0, look for the space. You see where the space is? Go one less than the space, and that's how many characters you need to grab. That would be a better strategy to grab the first word. Okay, so this is a very quick and general introduction of strings and the various functions that you have when you click or when you enter the dot operator. It'll give you a listing of all of these different functions that you can use with strings. So this is Professor Robert Solis. I hope this video lesson was helpful. Have a good day. We'll see you next time.